Away we go. Welcome, welcome. I'm Judge Colleen McNally, and I'm retired as the juvenile court presiding judge in Maricopa County. And I am a Family Reunification Day champion. This month, all across the country, people are gathering to honor and support family reunification. I had the privilege of attending a Family Reunification Day event in Florida, and I was so inspired by the strength of these reunified families that our team brought the idea home to celebrate Family Reunification Day in Arizona. We held our first event in 2014, and we've built a wonderful community collaboration of people who are now here to honor you. We're very pleased to have such a great group of families, and we're excited to honor you, your families, and your supporters. Joining us today as one of our program guides is Lindsay Shine. Lindsay works with Victoria Strayer as our Family Reunification Day co-chairs. She is an honoree of our 2018 Family Reunification Day celebration and is currently a team lead of the Parent Allies at the Family Involvement Center. Lindsay is a force and a constant inspiration. We're honored to have Lindsay bring her energy, her heart, and her team of parent allies to push forward our important mission of honoring families and educating the community about the importance of supporting family reunification. Lindsay, my friend, take it away.
Thank you so very much. You know, I started doing this about 5 years ago. I pretty much started supporting parents right when my own case closed. I turned around and started doing that. And I can say, you know, I never thought that I would end up doing that. I never thought I was a people person. But, you know, now that I'm here, I just can't imagine doing anything else. Everybody that I meet, no matter who or where they are, I hear the most incredible stories. And, you know, it truly is an honor to be allowed into this sacred space. I see a lot of very familiar faces here today. So to those I know and those I haven't met yet, welcome very much. We're so happy to have you here. And, you know, really congratulations on your hard work. I know it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And we're so happy to have you here on the other side with us. And I'm going to introduce my other co-chair, Victoria Strayer with Voices for CASA Children. This was her first year joining us as a co-chair, and I can say, you know, we're really excited about the vision that has been brought to the table. We're excited about the metamorphosis that Family Reunification Day is going to start to take throughout the year. So, you know, more details to follow eventually, but I'm going to turn it over to Victoria.
Thank you, Lindsay. I am so honored to be part of this important mission, and I appreciate the vision and perspective that you, Lindsay, and Judge McNally, and the entire family reunification community brings to this. I have been honored to be part of family reunification since the first event, and every year I am in awe of the courage and the joy that I witness from each of you families. The positive impact of family reunification is a message that must be shared and understood much more broadly in our community. So our committee is actually striving to do that. We want to be able to not only celebrate all of you amazing families, but also find ways to amplify your voice, educate, and broaden the family reunification community. But right now, today, the focus is on you, superhero families. So let's get this celebration started. We are so excited to announce our MC for today's celebration. It is my pleasure to introduce Maria Cristina Fuentes. She's the Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family, and she is an absolute treasure in our community. Maria is a champion for kids, parents, and families, and works hard every day to make things better in Arizona. And she has hosted our event in the past, which makes this even more special. And her office has been instrumental this year in also allowing the committee to do some things we've not done in the past, including bringing you a webpage. So we thank them very much, and we're so honored to have them part of us. So with this, it is my honor to welcome Director Maria Fuentes.
Thank you so much, Victoria. And it is such a pleasure and an honor to be again asked to be here at this event in this capacity. I can't remember the first year that I went to my first Maricopa County Reunification Day event, but it was many, many years ago, maybe the second annual. And every year this event has grown. Every year it gets better. And we're just very proud to be a part of it. It is such an important thing to do, to recognize the hard work of all of these families, because it really inspires so many families that are struggling in the same ways. And so that it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of strength to do everything that each one of you has done. And it takes a lot of courage and strength to be here today to share those stories. But as you'll hear from a lot of our presenters and some other parents that are like you on the other side, it's inspiring and it really helps others. And, you know, we know that all of our kids deserve love, care, safety, and the work that all of you have done to make sure that we're here today, it is inspiring and it is superhero work. So to you, we thank you, and to everyone in your village, in your camp, in your corner that helped you get here, from the DCS workers to your own family members, your community members, foster parents that work hard towards reunifying the kids. It's a big, big thank you to all of you as well. This is certainly one of my favorite events of the year. I love when we do it in person, but last year proved that the opportunity to do it in a virtual setting also brings with it a lot of positive add-ons. And so it's exciting to be here with you, and I look forward to see how this event grows in the future. And next, I get to introduce probably one of my favorite Arizonans, and one of my favorite people, really. And she has been such an extraordinary champion for kids in general, for kids in care. And she always says this is one of her favorite events of the year, which I think speaks to her compassion, her understanding, and just her love for making sure that kids have safe and stable homes, and that she's using her position and her role to continue to amplify this work. And your hard work and the importance of birth parents and of reunification is really, really, really something that I am grateful for. So our First Lady, Angela Ducey, is here with us today to give some welcoming remarks. And it is now my pleasure to hand it over to her. Mrs. Ducey.
Thank you, Maria. And you're right. I'm so grateful to be here. I have been every year so fortunate to attend. And you're absolutely right. This is one of my favorite days of the year. I look forward to it because it is so hopeful. It is so joyful. And it's such a celebration of all the hard work that parents have done. And you really are true superheroes to your children and your families. I'm very grateful to Judge McNally, Lindsay Shine, for working so hard to put this together, Victoria as well. And of course, the wonderful team at the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family, Maria and her crew. You guys are awesome. And so grateful for the work that you do. It's so important, the work that everyone does, but most especially the hardest work and the one that we're here to celebrate today is, of course, the work done by our parents. Each family that's here today, they've overcome immense challenges, but they've grown stronger together. Every parent here today has worked so hard to achieve that goal of reunification. And you are truly an inspiration to so many parents that are walking a similar path. And so we celebrate you today, but most importantly, you are the inspiration to your children. You are their superhero. I have 3 boys of my own, and even now as they transition, kind of growing into adulthood, you know, they still need us. They still need my husband and I, and they rely on us. And, you know, that never goes away, that importance of a supporting, loving parent. And what Maria said is true. It takes a village. It takes all those support people around you. I know that firsthand. So Today, we know that you've all worked so hard to build that village and support you and your children. And so to everyone out there who makes up that village, we say thank you for your support, because we know it couldn't be done without you. We all need to continue to work together to support parents, because that's the best way to support our children. To the foster parents who've supported birth parents and have been able to participate in shared parenting so that children can go home safely, thank you. It's such an important part of this process. And we hope that this practice, that this partnership that you'll see here today, that we can continue to grow that throughout our state. And then to all the caseworkers, judges, service provider, friends, CASAs, and so many others who have helped the parents every day work towards this critical goal of reunification, thank you all so very much. But again, most importantly, today, we're here to celebrate these parents. And to each parent, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the hard work you have done, for never giving up. And I know that can't always be easy. And for being really a beacon of light for your children and for so many other children and families. So thank you, congratulations, and we celebrate you all today. I'm so happy to be with you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ducey, and thank you for continuing to use your voice and your counsel and your position to raise up these parents specifically. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here again. Every year, Governor Ducey issues a proclamation in Arizona celebrating June as Family Reunification Month. Arizona is very proud to recognize the families who have successfully overcome the challenges that brought children into out-of-home care. Keeping Arizona families together whenever possible is a very important goal for us, and ensuring that kids can return home safely whenever possible is a primary goal of all of the children served by the Department of Child Safety. Reunification takes work, commitment, and investment of time and resources by parents, family members, social workers, foster parents, service providers, attorney, courts, judges, court staff, educators, and just everybody in the community. And so today we recognize all of your hard work and commitment to your family. And this month we celebrate Reunification Month. So it's really an honor, and I hope we keep doing this for many years to come. And in align with that and the whole community that it takes to bring children back together with their families, one of the bigger players, if you will, a critical player in these efforts is our courts. It's the Maricopa County Court specifically for all of these parents. And we are very blessed to have amazing leaders and judges and court staff and programs that believe in this goal of reunification as well, and work very hard on their end to make sure that kids are returned safely as quickly as possible. And so with that in mind, I want to introduce a video from our current presiding juvenile court judge, Joseph Kramer, and incoming presiding juvenile court judge, Lori Bustamante.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Kramer. I'm the presiding juvenile court judge here in Maricopa County.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Bustamante, and I am the incoming presiding judge in Maricopa County Juvenile Court.
And it's our honor to talk to you today on Family Reunification Day and share with you a message. I think the message for me is that you probably know that you're a superhero to your kids. Parents are superheroes to their kids, and you've done incredible things to be reunified with your children and to get to the place that you are now. But I want to talk to you about the impact that you have on others, not just your kids, specifically those of us here in court. Families who reunify, parents who reunify, for judges, for judicial officers and staff, have an incredible impact. We get to see success. We get to tell other parents what we've seen, that success and that ability to reunify with their kids. Your success and your superhero status goes beyond judges. It goes to DCS workers. It goes to the lawyers involved. And so know that your impact is not only with your kids or on your kids, it's on many as well. So congratulations. Happy Reunification Day.
We are so happy to be here to be able to congratulate you on a job well done. Being a judicial officer and having the opportunity to see families reunify is so important to us, and that is one of our favorite moments when we are in court. That's the moment where you have done it. You have worked hard, you've persevered, and you have remained committed to your children. You are a superhero to your children, you are a superhero to us, and we are so happy for you, and we wish you and your children all the best.
That is so special. Just as a mom and a parent and a person in the community who does not work in the courts, it can be so intimidating or concerning when you have to engage in those spaces, and to have judges and judicial officers and court personnel and programs that are so approachable and engaged and care so deeply about this work, and that they're here with us and a part of this team is so helpful. So for all parents out there, we're all working towards this goal, and so grateful to have the presiding judge join us today via video. And so now, wait, I'm getting a message. We have a superhero message coming in. I don't know which one it is. Let's play.
Oh, hello, Deadpool here. Just wanted to take some time out of my very busy day to say congratulations to all the families reuniting. And remember that families make it happen.
Hi everyone, Black Widow here to congratulate all the families on Reunification Day. Families make it happen. Hola y bienvenidos a todos. Me llamo la Viuda Negra y estoy aquí para darles una gran felicitación. En este día de reconciliación, son las familias que hacen todo posible.
Wow, I am a big fan of the Avengers. That was huge. They must have heard that we have tons of superheroes here today being honored, and they wanted to be a part of it. So now I get to introduce another type of superhero. He's certainly a superhero in my mind, and he is a very full of hardworking director of child protection here in our agency. Mike Faust has become a dear colleague and friend, and I will say this as many times as I have the platform to do so. I've worked with many child welfare directors throughout the country, and Mike brings into this work a lot of operational brain strategic knowledge, if you've met Mike, but he also brings a lot of heart and caring vision and determination to make sure that children are returned home safely every single time that it is possible. And so it's really, truly an honor to work with Mike and his team and to introduce him today. Mike.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you so much for everybody for being here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm going to echo what a lot of folks had said, just lift up the parents to start, and thank all of you for being here today. I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine yesterday, and I was asking, why is it that we can't continue to raise this discussion around reunification even larger each and every year? And her feedback was interesting because it said it takes a lot of vulnerability from the parents to be able to tell their story. And I just want to elevate that and thank you so much for having that vulnerability and sharing your triumphs, because you're an inspiration and you bring hope to so many other parents. You bring hope to me as the director of the department. And I know when I come into environments, sometimes I can be off-putting because of the role I play. But I'm inspired daily by your stories. I want to thank the planning committee, not only for today, but your efforts to advocate for reunification in our community all the time, because I think it's something that's not as understood as well as it needs to be and celebrated to the extent that it should be. On this video or on the call, I'm sure we have community members and we have caregivers in terms of kinship caregivers and foster families. We have providers and DCS team members, judicial partners and legal partners. Thank you to all of you, because without your wraparound and supports to these families, their stories may have been different. They may have a completely different outcome, but with your support and their efforts and triumphs, the success at the end of the tunnel for them has been very good. You know, last year I had the opportunity to share some of my personal story, and I didn't know what I wanted to share today. But for those of you who don't know me, I didn't grow up in foster care, but I was removed from my mom's custody when I was 10 and sent across the country to live with my dad, who I didn't even really know. 3 weeks ago, my daughter graduated high school, and my mom had come out to celebrate that with us. That was a tough thing because that relationship is still evolving and growing, because I didn't get to go home. You know, I didn't get to have it, but I'm so thankful for not only the experience I've had, but the relationship I have today, because it's prepared me for so much more in life. And you too, as parents, are prepared for so much more in life. And you may not have thought about that through this last period, and coming from me may not be the best source to deliver that, but you are prepared for so much more. And for your kids, you know, you just need to know your parents love you. And the thing I love most about this event is I can see the kids moving around in the background, and I can see the parents asking the kids to quiet down. But kids, you should be so proud of your parents too, and so thankful for that relationship and that time together. Cherish it. And parents, again, congratulations. Thank you for putting in that hard work. You are in a much better place today, and you're bringing hope to so many others so they too can have the same positive outcomes that you've had. So thank you so much for allowing me to attend and to share some perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. And you're always so open in sharing your story and being vulnerable alongside our parents and all of us. And I think that, again, speaks to your heart and your commitment to this work. And so knowing that that was going to be very impactful, we didn't know how to follow Director Faust. And so we did our very best. If we can cue our next video.
You know, probably like some of you, following is not really my style. Like you, I've been through a lot, and to be honest, I've done so many dangerous things that I shouldn't be alive. Unless it's for a reason. The parents we are celebrating today have made it through a lot, and you are here for a reason. You are here because you have awesome kids, and you are devoted to being awesome parents for them. I am Iron Man. You are Iron Man.
All right. So next, Lindsay.
Hi, Felicia
Okay, we can play it.
here. Just wanted to say hello and congratulations to all you families that are receiving your reunification certificates this year. Woo woo, you guys did it. Congratulations, so exciting. I am so proud to be an alumni receiving a certificate for one of the first years that they did this program, and man, what a crazy, crazy journey it has been. I'm so excited for you guys to continue on your journey. I'm so proud of you guys. Continue to do well and continue to love all of your babies as I know that I do every day. Again, my name again was Felicia. Please stay safe out there and have a good time with your families. Stay strong and continue on that beautiful journey you guys are going to have.
Felicia, you may remember from prior years, was honored in our 2014 Reunification Day, and she continues to thrive in success with her kiddos. And so, again, one of the many inspirational voices of what working hard towards this goal can mean for families. So very happy to have her with us today via video. And next, we have a special message for you from Juvenile Court Judge Brooks.
Congratulations on your reunification with your children. I know that you have worked hard for the dismissal of your case, and I rejoice with you, even if we're remote from each other today, that you and your children are back with each other. When I was thinking about the theme this year of superheroes, I couldn't help but think about the creator of a lot of the superheroes that we enjoy watching or reading about, Stan Lee, and many of the things that he stood for and some of the characters that he created. whether it was the Hulk and the resilience that the Hulk showed through not being defined by the things he struggled with, but by how he chose to use those struggles for others, or for Peter Parker and the decisions that he made to help others, or in the X-Men and all their differences being used to unite them together to help other people. You have shown that same resilience throughout your case. You have overcome and worked through struggles for the benefit of yourself and for your children. You have shown the resilience of not being defined by those things, but instead using them and overcoming them so that your kids can be with you. And I am so happy today that I get to again tell you congratulations, because you have shown that resilience for your children. I hope you have a great day today with this reunification event, and I wish you all the best for the future.
That's great. These messages just continue to break down some of these perceived barriers that we often have with systems. And so I'm continuously grateful for our leaders engaging in this day. And next, I am very pleased to introduce a message from one of my favorite superheroes.
Greetings to all the children, parents, and families celebrating Family Reunification Day. We know that our communities are stronger when our families are stronger. Like many of us superheroes, you had to endure difficult times, and it is in those times that we identify our superpowers. We're all works in progress, and today is the day to celebrate all of the progress you have made to reunite your beloved families. We salute you and congratulate you on this special day.
And next, for all of our football fans, if we have anybody in the crowd who is a football fan, we have a very special video message from the Arizona Cardinals cheerleaders and Big Red.
Hello, I'm Danielle. And I'm Natalie. And we are with the Arizona Cardinals cheerleaders. We just want to wish you a congratulations on achieving your goals and getting your entire family back on the field.
On behalf of the entire Arizona Cardinals family, we are cheering for you. Be strong, be proud, be family.
Go Cardinals!
That's incredible. I do have to say, all these videos are amazing, and I am a superhero fanatic, but this very next message is by far my favorite. For anybody who loves Elmo, I would tune in.
Hi! Elmo just wanted to stop by and say congratulations! Elmo's so proud of you.
I bet that got some little one's attention. Elmo is the absolute best. So now we get into the very, very, very special part of this program, which is to introduce you to some of the families that are being honored today. We have so many wonderful families that we're going to break them into some groups, and you're going to see slides and photos of each family. And then when the slides conclude, we're going to hear from some of our parents who have generously agreed to share their stories. Our first group of parents are Katie, Jennifer, and Sabrina V, so that you can get ready to speak after the slides. Each and every one of you today should be very, very proud of your achievements and know that you're making a difference in your family, but to many other families hearing from you today. So now we'll cue the slides. Thank you. What amazing families and beautiful family pictures. Thank you so much, and congratulations to each and every one of you. We now have the privilege of hearing from three parents that wanted to share their story, Katie, Jennifer, and Sabrina V. Following these three parents, we're going to have Brenda, Michelle, and Keith, just so you all can get ready. So when I introduce you, please unmute your screens and share your story. Katie went above and beyond during her dependency, and she wants to use her experience to help other families, because she understands that when families help each other, that is a gift that can keep on giving. Katie?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for, including me in this day. This was very, very flattering and very just like, I couldn't even believe it when I got the call. About a year ago is when our dependency ended. And so to get this call a year later, after all the hard work that I had put in and my family had put in, was just, it instantly just made me emotional. So thank you guys for having me and thinking of me for this. This little dude is Noah. This is my man. He's just turned 2 years old in May. When Noah was about 2 months old, he suffered a traumatic brain injury. It still makes me emotional, so I'm sorry. He suffered a traumatic brain injury while I was out on a shopping trip, and he was with a caretaker. And it seemed to be caused from shaken baby syndrome. So the doctors could not put a time frame on when the injury occurred. So that is when DCS came into play for it. He was not expected to live throughout his stay at the hospital. He was also diagnosed with epilepsy, and the doctor said he would not have a good quality of life. And if anything, he would be a vegetable in a wheelchair. And as you can see, 2 years later, with all our hard work, he is not a vegetable in a wheelchair. So throughout, we spent about 10 months going through the whole DCS process. I was not given any reunification options. Everything I did and looked up myself. Every single class I took, I offered to do the drug test. I offered to do the psych evaluation. I did everything in my power to do what I had to do to get my son back, because I knew that I was not responsible for his injury, nor would I ever be or condone anyone that had put him in that situation. So I want everybody to know that anybody who's here that's going through the process, that it is possible. It is possible to do whatever you got to do. You have the resources. And if you don't, there are families like us who are more than happy to help provide you with resources. I know that I did a ton of Google research on classes I could take. I went and got CPR and first aid certified so that if anything happened, I could act immediately, since I was not CPR first aid certified prior. I also got epilepsy certified on my own will. So it is possible. They told me they were going for severance right off the bat, and I was not going to have that. So I did everything I could to get him back. And here he is, and he is the happiest boy. He still has a very, very long road to recovery, but he is eating on his own. He is working on rolling over, and we see therapists multiple times a week, and he's kicking butt because of the support he's gotten from myself and my family. So to be recognized for that is just very humbling and very flattering. And I appreciate this opportunity to speak to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, for sharing your story. And it's wonderful to see your little boy. He's gorgeous. Thank you for being here and just really inspirational. That's a lot of work.
Thank you.
And so next, it's really my privilege to also invite Jennifer to share her story. She has an amazing amount of love for her family, like all of our parents here today. The outpouring of love that everyone in Jennifer's family has experienced as a parent to all who were involved in her dependency. So Jennifer, to join us. Jennifer, if you unmute, you're here. Okay, if we can circle back to Jennifer later if somebody wants to check in with her. So now we have Sabrina V, who has 4 children and worked very, very hard with her parent ally to learn as much as she could about the system to make sure that, you know, she was able to celebrate here with us today. Sabrina.
Hi, everyone. Thank you I just want to say thank you for inviting me. This event has been just amazing. I dialed in and then I was able to jump on and get the videos, and it was like the other lady was saying, it was very flattering. And yeah, I have all my kids with me, and that's exciting. I'm at the park with 2 of them. It's we got free movie tickets. Thank you, by the way, for that. I took the kids to see Jurassic World. So I did learn a lot. Family Involvement Center was a huge support system. Yeah, 1 second. A huge support system for me. I utilized every resource that was offered to me, every class that was offered to me. I apply it till this day. Give her the phone now, please. This is not the time. I have a toddler, 2 teenage boys, and a 10-year-old. And I stay active in therapy. I did have postpartum psychosis, so a lot of it was mental health for me, and I just put my mental health as #1, and my kids' mental health. They're all active in therapy, individual counseling, and that's it. I just make sure that everyone's happy. I respect everyone's voice in the house, and I'm able to co-parent with 2 different fathers, which has been it's been working out very great. And a lot of that had to do with the classes that I was able to take with the Family Involvement Center, and just really understanding how important it is to think about what the best interest for your kids is. You put your kids first, you can put all the other stuff aside and be civil with their other parent, and understand that other parent is very important also. With that being said, mental health is the #1 conversation with me and both of the other parents that I co-parent with. And it's been what's pulling us through everything. So thank you. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. And what a joy, right? To hear all of the commotion and the kiddos in the background. I mean, that is when my house is the loudest, I think is when I'm happiest. So I think that is just part of why we're here today, to celebrate the parents and all of the joyful noise that kids bring along with them for us. So next we're going to invite Brenda, Michelle, and Keith to speak. And just so that you're ready, following them, we will have Sabrina A, Julie Ann, Ashley, and Sierra. But Brenda is someone who overcame so many hurdles to be here with us today. She stayed strong when she was being tested, and for that, thank you, Brenda, because you did a lot to get here. Brenda? All right, we can check back in on Brenda, who did do a lot of work to be here today, and parenting, I know, can throw my days off very, very quickly and unexpectedly. So to all of the parents that are here and may have to step out and aren't here with us, we get it. We know how these things happen. Michelle has been described as an adaptive and persistent mom. She was such a strong advocate for her kids, and she remained involved in the Cradle to Crayon services even after her dependency was concluded. And so we invite Michelle to share her story. Do we have Michelle? Okay, so we'll move on to Keith, who is very passionate about his children and was very passionate during the dependency when he was challenged or felt challenged with having his voice heard. He learned how to advocate for himself and his kid, and has a great story to share to help others.
Hello, everybody. My name's Keith. Got Zoe climbing on the couch over here and Adeline. But yeah, we had quite a struggle. I lost kids both because of substance exposure. Battled really hard with DCS. I had a wonderful parent ally, Lindsay Shine, really came through, and I had another wonderful lady named Shannon. I don't know her last name, but I think she's a social worker, and my great attorney, and our team really persevered and really helped me through some really hard times. And now we get to spend, baby. Now we get to spend days arguing over the TV, I guess. No, but no, we're doing really great. And if it wasn't for all the supports I had, I don't think we would be here right now. So I guess that's about all I have to share. Adeline, please. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, thank you to all of the kids that lighten up and brighten up our backgrounds and really demonstrate that noise. I'm fixing to call my kids into the room because I'm feeling a little jealous. They're older now, so they don't cause as much commotion around me as they used to, but I miss those sounds. So thank you so much. And thank you all for sharing. Next, we have Sabrina, Julianne, Ashley, and Sierra. And so first we will start with Sabrina. Sabrina, this is a separate Sabrina, if she is with us today, worked very hard to learn a lot about the social and emotional development of children, which she then used to help inform her journey and her process. She has 6 beautiful children of her own. And so if Sabrina has joined us today, we welcome her to share her story. She may not. Julie Ann's attorney shared that she is a woman who moved mountains to get her kids back and is going to make a very big impact in the world. She is truly a force to be reckoned with. Julianne. Okay. Well, at least I'm very happy that I get to share these wonderful tidbits from all of these parents who are being honored today. Next, we have Ashley, who is a family treatment court graduate and has been killing it since day one. Ashley.
Oh, hi. Hi, I had no idea I was going to speak, so I have nothing prepared. But I'm really glad to be here. Our dependency case was over a year ago on July 5th. So we're coming up on a year. And my daughter's not here right now because life is back to normal for us in a really good way. She's at a play date. She doesn't remember any of this really happening for her. So I'm so glad that I was able to be successful in this program. Just all together, everything, I went through family treatment court, worked with a parent ally, everything I did, got her home, and life is much better than it was before. Actually, I'm an alcoholic in recovery, and I'll have 2 years coming up on August 3rd. So hopefully my daughter will never ever see me drunk again. And I truly can just thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. Even CPS is frustrating, or DCS is frustrating as it can be working with it. What it taught me was patience, and I'm a more patient and a better mother because of all of the requirements and just the whole process. So thank you for inviting me today. And sorry I didn't have a wonderful speech prepared, but thank you for letting me talk.
Well, I think that was a wonderful speech. I think that was very, very well shared. And it is, as I have shared many times, it's easy to get in front of people. Well, not easy, but it's easier to get in front of people and share ideas and policy. But when you're sharing your heart and your story, it is very, very difficult. I've had to do it a few times, and it is one of the hardest things to do. And so I don't think that's lost on any of us. And I think all of you have spoken beautifully, and sharing your story it takes a lot of courage. And so we thank you for that, because we know it's going to have a big, big impact on other parents who are walking in the same path that you've walked. And our last parent, and I don't know if she's with us, I wasn't seeing her on the list, but sometimes people have different names on the list. Sierra, who participated in our Cradle to Crayon's individual therapy and resource navigation. She demonstrated commitment to her family and successfully climbed that mountain. And we're very proud of her. If she's with us, we welcome her to share her story. Well, we're not seeing Sierra, but now you know a little bit about her. And I'm very, very grateful again for all of you who were here to share with us today your story. It does go a long way with others. You may remember a time when you weren't certain of what the end of that tunnel looked like, and when or how or if your kids would come home, and hopefully you see as much value as we do in you sharing your voices, because it's a completely different power of a voice when it's a peer and someone who is walking in those shoes that can tell you this can work, you can get your kids, to come home. And so we really appreciate it, because as amazing and wonderful as the leaders of the courts and DCS and other partners that are here today, as much heart as they have, your voices as parents who have gone through and got your kids home, that's the most powerful voice for a lot of these parents that are following behind you and getting to where you are today. So we're very, very, very grateful. Next, we have Shaquan Palmer, which is Mrs. Arizona International 2021, and she has a special message for all of you.
Hi, my name is Shaquan Palmer. I am Mrs. Arizona International 2021. It is with great pleasure and honor that I have the privilege of celebrating such a momentous occasion in your lives. I would like to say congratulations to all of the nominees, to the families that have been reunified, and to those still fighting for the reunification of their families. I would also like to say thank you to all of the youth care and family workers for making a difference in our community. Words alone can express the gratitude of your tireless efforts and your continued care. While families navigated the adversities and crises taking place in their personal lives, you continue to provide care to those experiencing the hardship of family division. And for that, you are much, much appreciated. To all of the nominees, families that have been reunified, and those still fighting for the reunification of their families, the work that you are doing is not to be taken lightly. I know it hasn't been the easiest road to travel, but your perseverance and dedication and your willingness to fight today for a better tomorrow has made all the difference, and it will continue to make all the difference even in your future. You may look at my crown and sash and say, man, she has had it pretty easy, but it's actually quite the opposite. I am actually a survivor turned advocate of adverse childhood experiences and toxic stress, having healed from a trauma score of 9. Some of the experiences, just like you, I have been through, and I've been through some things that should have left me broken and feeling completely defeated. I am living proof that your past does not determine your destination. I live by this phrase called flourish within your means, simply saying that I choose to accomplish my goals regardless of the setbacks or obstacles that may come. It was best said by C.S. Lewis, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start right now and change the ending. With that said, congratulations to you all. I look forward to hearing of the miraculous reunifications that take place in your lives. Much love and many blessings. Take care.
Great. Next, we have a special message from another of our juvenile judges, Judge Mata.
It is my profound privilege to be here by video, sharing in your excitement on Family Reunification Day. I know that each and every family here today has faced obstacles, struggles, and uncertainty, not to mention the global pandemic. Yet, despite it all, you persevered. You displayed courage, a willingness to learn, and an acceptance to teamwork, a Justice League approach, if you will, to reunifying your family. And that defines a superhero. Take, for example, my favorite superhero, Wonder Woman, who proudly sits behind us on the witness stand in my courtroom to remind everybody, including me, how important it is to have a strong, protective, caring team in every case for every person. Every case that comes before me starts in a moment of fear, uncertainty, and loss of control for parents and for your children. You took advantage of your superhero team, your attorneys, your guardian ad litems, your case managers, your service providers, and the people that cared for your children while you were working so hard, usually long and hard, to establish a caring, protective, superhero uniform that you now wear for your children. Sometimes we need a superhero, but more importantly, sometimes we get to be that superhero. With your perseverance, your agility, and your strength, you have become superheroes, walking amongst mere mortals in the eyes of your children. I commend you and I congratulate you today.
Excellent. Now we get on to our second group of families to honor today. We will once again share the slides and the photographs so that you can share their joy and their words. And then we will have a handful of parents who are here also to share their stories. So first up, and so we know that some of these parents couldn't be here today that were scheduled to speak. First, we would have Maria, Dorian, and Rihanna. I will share some words that I have from the team about the parents. But if you're here or if you're here under a different name, just come on in if you'd like to share. But first, let's look at slides and pictures. Do we have slides and pictures?
Yeah.
Excellent. I love seeing the pictures and seeing just the life and the energy and the love that come through all of those slides and pictures. So for this next cohort, I'm going to share a few words that were shared with me about these parents by the planning committee who have gotten to know these parents so well. And if the parents are here and they want to share their story, just unmute your phones and jump in. But our first parent in this cohort, Maria, was very motivated to complete everything that was asked of her. Her children came home in less than a year, and they've been thriving safely and happily together ever since. And so if Maria is here, we'd welcome you. We also are honoring Dorian, who was proactive in navigating community resources, which if you provide community resources or work in systems at all, you know, even when you know the systems, how difficult that can be. But he became very proactive in navigating community resources along with the dependency. And it really, he got a lot done. We've heard that he is a very hardworking, she's a very hardworking person and stays very focused on her family. And so we're grateful for you, Dorian, and all of your work. If you wanted to, if you're here, I don't know that I see her on the list. And then in this cohort too, we have Rihanna, who had a very strong support system and navigated. Again, we hear a lot about the challenges of navigating systems, and Rihanna was able to, with all of that support, navigate through a web of community resources and ultimately accomplish her goal of getting her kids home safely. So all really wonderful stories in these parents. And Susanna, we were told, was a very good client. So we know this is somebody in her corner and on her team who says she was a very good client and a fighter for her children. And I've heard that a lot from the parents that have shared with us today is that the fight that they had to put up and to do. And that's, I think, why this theme of superheroes keeps coming up every year. She was a great client, but a fighter for her children. She kept her eye on the prize, which, as you all know, isn't always easy, but she did it, and she was able to reunify with her children with the support of her family. Our next families, next parents, we have Randy, who was described by those involved in his case as protective and nurturing as a father. He didn't waste any time in doing what was asked so that his daughter could come home, and we're very proud of you and your efforts. Ron Trell is a young man, a single father, who got to work right away with his legal team. And his kids came home quickly, from what we understand. And so very well done, Ron Trell. If any of you are here and want to share your story, just unmute. And Amberly's attorney. And again, we hear a lot, our team communicates, and you all have such great teams behind you, and the glowing you inspire all of us who work in these systems, whether you're an attorney or you're in DCS or you're a judge or a parent ally. Your journey and how you show up and what you accomplish really inspires us. But Amberly's attorney told us that she did an amazing job from start to finish. She kicked butt. I don't know if that's allowed to say, but it's what they said, with her family preservation team. And so Amberly really dedicated in getting her children home. I think next we have Destiny, Juliana, and Brittany, who I believe Juliana and Brittany are with us. So if you wanted to share and wanted to be ready, I'll share a little bit about Destiny, whose case started with some significant challenges, but she reunited with her children and is such a great provider for her family that she passed up watching the dependency being dismissed and was at work instead. So, you know, she is just very dedicating to making sure she keeps that focus on her family and what her family most needs at that time. Up next, we have Juliana, who was never discouraged by not hearing what she wanted to hear. She always met the challenges head on to prove herself to those who were asking challenging things of her. But I would say probably just demonstrate to her children her love and care. And so Juliana, if you're with us and want to share a few words.
Hi. I first would like to thank Cynthia Caesar, my lawyer, for empowering me and encouraging me throughout this. I gave birth 5 weeks early to my son because I was very deep into a drug addiction. And I worked tirelessly to prove that I could stay sober, and I still am. And my son right now is currently with my parents in Wisconsin visiting my brother. But DCS brought not only my immediate family with my son back together, but my extended family with my parents. And my mom and my dad had recently passed away. So I was struggling, but I did it. And I crawled out of that hole, and I got mental health help. I got diagnosed with ADHD, which turns out had a huge thing to do with some significant mental health issues that I was dealing with. And I want to thank my parents for taking in my son, because I didn't have anybody, and I was very lucky. And I want to thank DCS for holding me accountable. I'm so sorry for holding me accountable for my actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana. This is not a space where any of us, I think, need to apologize for our feelings. I think what you have done and what you have been through and what you have overcome is extraordinarily difficult. And God, this happens to me every year. I think you have everybody here pulling for you and feeling what you've shared. And so we're very, very grateful because, again, as a mom, your strength, I can feel it come through the screen. So thank you. Following, we have Brittany, who left a positive mark on everyone that she worked with. We've heard that she has a heck of a story, and even though the odds seem stacked against her, she shined through and is here with us today and came out on top. Brittany?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, good. First, I just want to thank everybody that was involved, my lawyer, the foster mom, so Cynthia Caesar and my foster mom, and the parent aides that came out. I think most importantly, with my story, it's that I still got another chance, and I didn't just get written off. I have 3 kids that I went through a lot of trauma that I didn't ever address. And my first case, I tried, but I didn't know that there was a way out, and I gave up. In the middle of giving up, I got pregnant with Sophia, and my parents wouldn't take her. And I started fighting, and DCS knew that I was not ready. I was sober whenever I had her, but I was barely out of a horrible mental state of mind. And it just took a lot of work, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of people in my corner, and people that didn't just write me off because I didn't get it right the first time. And it was a lot of tears, and it was a lot of work, footwork put in behind it, and a lot of people just believing me and seeing something in me that I didn't know that I had in there. So thank you, everybody. And if you're still trying to do it, I had said in one of my interviews, if there's a part where you feel like you want to give up, just take one more step and hold on to that little miracle that might happen, or it might be a big one. I didn't ever set a time whenever I was going to get my daughter back. I just did what was right in front of me without thinking about when it was going to happen. So thank you all.
Thank you so much for sharing and for being here. And I think that's one piece that I think is very, very important to echo and to share out, because I assure you, you are not the only parent that didn't get it just right the first, sometimes the second, sometimes more times than that. And it can be difficult having had those first experiences and then still coming back to get it done and to fight and get your children home. That's a different level of inspiration and determination that I think a lot of parents that are in the shoes that you were will benefit tremendously from hearing. So thank you for lending us your voice and your story. Our next parents that I'm happy to share about, and again, if you're here, I'll pause and you unmute and share your story if you're comfortable. We have Clayton, who was highly praised at the time of the dismissal because he fought for what he felt was right in his case, and he never wavered regarding any question in his dedication to his son and his family. That consistency of Clayton's love and dedication was very evident to everyone. Clayton?
Clayton's not able to make it in because he's working, but this is Rachel.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, because I was also involved with the case when this happened. Yeah, sorry, it's really, it tugs me really hard at this point how much it affected. You know, like, I'm glad that we're sober and glad that people were there to support us, you know, but, you know, like, and Tanya was able to help us, Maisha was able to help us, and her supervisor and everyone were great to us. And it was so hard. I'm sorry, I can't even speak. It was hard for me to come on here because it affected me really, really bad, and it's really hard for me with the people. It's so hard. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to share at the moment.
It's okay. I think it's okay. We're very grateful that you're here. We're very grateful that you are where you are with your children, with Clayton. I think that's enough. I think we can hear it in your voice. We can hear the emotion and the triumph and the hardship that preceded it. And so thank you for being here, but mostly thank you for the amazing work that has been done, but I know it's work that you're doing every day. So thank you, and we're just very grateful. We also have Tracy joining us. Tracy is a shining example of the bond that a mother and child can share. Her and her child were so determined to be together. In 2021, she obtained guardianship after her parental rights has been terminated. And they accomplished something that doesn't happen very often, but an example that is worth raising up, because there's always a way. If you're determined and the work is done, and there's always a way. So Tracy, thank you for demonstrating this creative way of coming back together with your children, and we'd welcome you to share your story.
Yeah, she was taken back in 2017 because of something that had happened to her because of her dad. I divorced him, everything, trying to get her back. They still took my rights, but I never gave up. Then when she was 14, she was in the court system, and she flat out told them that when she turned 18, she was coming home. Then all of a sudden I get a call from DCS, from her caseworker, asking me if I would like to do phone visits with her counselor. I jumped on it. I was like, yes. From there, it went from every other week to every week. Then it went to in person. Then we had a couple of case aids before we got a parent aid. And I was bound and determined to, if I got this second chance, so I was bound and determined nobody was going to stop me for this second chance to get my kid back. And I did everything possible. There were some times where I felt like, oh, they're starting this all over again, and kept saying based on my income, I couldn't provide for her. And I know homeless people because I worked in a homeless shelter. So I know homeless people that have gotten their kids, they lived in a homeless shelter, had no income, and they still had their kids. So I know no matter being homeless or not, I was going to have my kid back. And I just kept fighting and fighting. I had the best support team. Her people that were on her side could see. I started doing visits in the group home, which usually never happens. And the person, Miss Malika, she was willing to do it because she had known Allie since she was 10. And they could see that once I got back in her life, they could see a complete different child. She was starting to do good in school. She wasn't failing classes. She was not talking back. She was doing what she needed to do. And that proved to them too that, okay, she's doing what she needs to do. Mom's doing what she needs to do. And on May 5th, she came home to me. And on December 10th, I was awarded guardianship back of her. And I can vouch, even if your rights are severed, there's a way it's going to happen where those kids can come back.
Thank you, Tracy, and really, really thank you. I feel your mama bear, for lack of a better word. I feel your passion. I feel that love jumping through the screen as well. I think that's a message that is so important, that there's always a way. We heard Brittany, now your story kind of takes that to the next level. Kids want to come home as much as we want them to come home. And so doing that work and finding all of those ways is very, very important. And again, I can't stop saying it, but for people in our community and for other parents and working towards reunification, it's very powerful to hear your stories. And I know it's difficult to do. The next person I want to honor and highlight is Melissa. Melissa demonstrated courage, strength, and empathy for the emotional needs of her children to overcome very difficult relationships that seem to be standing in their way. And that's difficult to do as well. So Melissa, if you're with us and you wanted to share your story, we welcome you.
Hi. First of all, I just want to congratulations to every family that has worked hard to bring their kids home, especially the last story that I heard. That was very inspirational, just due to the fact that my 2 boys' rights got severed and I lost my parental rights for them because I have a total of 3 kids. But unfortunately, they've already been adopted. So but that does give me hope. So I appreciate that. But to start off, technically what happened was me and my ex-husband were both at work, and my youngest boy, who was 3 months at the time, he got hurt at the babysitter's house. And because I left him with someone that I thought could be a good caregiver, he ended up getting hurt. And then that's how DCS got involved. And then because he got severely hurt, he had supposedly what happened was a toy fell on his head and he went to the hospital, and they had to do some liquid come out of his brain or out of his head to make sure that everything was okay. And then something about his back he was recovering from. So that took a while for him to recover. Luckily, he's okay now. But getting them home was really hard. I had someone who was not willing to help. They were always fighting me. It was definitely a struggle. Finally, I divorced him. I went to several parenting classes. I did Cradles and Cran, which technically I'm still going to this day. I did domestic violence counseling due to after the kids were taken, domestic violence started happening. I kept going to it. I also took a CPR class to show them that if the kids came home and something happened, I know what to do. I did many things. I kept going to parenting classes. I also went to Family Involvement Center. I had a parent aide, not just a parent aide, but I had like a parent, someone who was there to guide me through the process for support. It happened in 2017 on Halloween. I lost my parental rights on November of 2009. I think it was 2018 or 2019. It really depends on your case aide and your parent aide and your case manager. If you don't have support for them, you can go through the world and you can jump mountains, but they're not going to help you. Luckily, I finally had a case manager who believed in me. I had a parent aide who believed in me. One of my kids who came in the journey after my two boys were still in dependency, I had family reunification for her still. So I kept going and kept going. Finally, I was able to pass parent aid within 2 months after my kids were severed. I kept going. I kept getting a case aid after a case aid. Finally, I had not just that, now I had the foster parents at the time who fell in love with all my kids that were with the foster parents at the time. Not only did they adopt my two boys, but they also wanted to keep the whole family together, which was my daughter. So not only was I fighting the state, now I was also fighting the foster parents. So it was definitely a journey. I had to prove to them, not just them, but also to the foster parents, that I am a great mother. I can do this. And luckily, finally, with some hope and in God, I was able to go ahead and bring my daughter home. It started off with days, it started off with nights, until finally I got the call one morning and said, you won the severance. You are, as of next Sunday, your daughter is officially coming home. That was the best news in the world. It's definitely a journey. It's definitely not easy. You have to literally, everything that I stated that I did was the parenting classes, the domestic violence classing, the CPR, was all that I took initiative to prove that I wanted to my daughter home, and that I did not hurt my children. This was something that did not happen in my care. But the people that are still fighting, don't give up hope. I know a family mentioned it before that I almost wanted to give up hope, but luckily I kept going, and I was like, you know what? Even though it's a hard journey, it's my kids who are suffering, because they're the ones who have to live in a different home. They don't get to see you. Luckily, as of this day, the foster parents are willing to work with me. I still get to see my boys every 2 weeks. We get to see it in either in the play yard or at a restaurant, because even though they don't have my daughter, they still have her as their own daughter, which I don't mind. So they want to see her and I want to see my boys. So luckily with God, everything worked out as I wanted. So congratulations, and yeah. And thank you for letting me be here part of this day, because when I did get that call about family reunification, it really means a lot, because especially when you have everybody against you and fighting you, having this and sparks hope and inspiration and gives other people hope, and it really lets you know how what a journey you went through. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I know that was a long journey, and I know you're still going through it. Camelia is someone that took advantage of the trauma services that were offered when she was dealing with challenges with her case plan change, and she continued to persevere. She did not let that slow her down. And a few months later, she switched back to reunification. She got through the process and the work, and now the rest is history. The kids are home safely. And Camelia, if you're here and wanted to share your story, we'd welcome you. I also have heard from the wonderful team managing everything in the background that we have a parent from earlier who is here that is on the right side of the Zoom to share her story now. I don't know if it's Julianne. No. Okay, if any other parents that we have shared your names or little tidbits on your story are on with us now and would like to share your stories, we'd welcome you. Okay, so now I'm going to hand it back over to Victoria.
Wow. I just have to catch my breath for a moment. Thank you so much to everyone, each of you. What a journey. And, we are so blessed. This is the Family Reunification Day Committee, and Lindsay and I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to thank them and for all of you to see the number of people and organizations that are committed to you and committed to this powerful message of reunification. Everyone on this slide, they are so dedicated. We met every week. We were trying to figure things out, change things, but none of us work near as hard as you all are doing every single day. But you inspire us. You're going to inspire us to do some more exciting things. Again, as we've talked about, to kind of elevate your message and celebrate reunification. But Lindsay and I just want to take a moment to really acknowledge everyone that was part of the Family Reunification Day Committee. And committee, there's still a lot of work to do. So enjoy after the event, and then we'll be back together next week. But thank you from Lindsay and I to all of you. And special thanks continues to Judge McNally and Judge Kramer for just continuing to support and allow us to do this. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Victoria. And I think I also want to echo all of the thank you for this committee that I know met very diligently and many, many times and put a lot of work into this event, into growing it every year. You all start early and you start planning and you come up with new and improved ways of making sure that our parents are honored and that this becomes something that is ingrained in our community's mind, right? That, the power, the importance of birth parents, the power, the importance of reunification, the very difficult work it takes to get there, and that it's important to take the time to honor it. I also want to thank our sponsors, all of whom share this vision and this goal and this heart. Casey Family Programs and Voices for Casa Children, who continue to provide funding for our celebration every year, and were instrumental in providing the great gift bags that every family received. Volunteers at City of Grace coordinated putting together and delivering these gift bags. City of Grace has been a cornerstone of this event forever, and we're very, very grateful for their support. And we're very grateful to the governor and to Mrs. Ducey, Director Faust, Judge Kramer, Judge Bustamante, all the other judges, all of the other community leaders. And I have to pause and say, these leaders are wonderful and I know them all and I count them as friends, but every single person that works with and around these leaders, from their deputies to frontline workers to admin staff. I mean, they're the teams that these leaders lead. They're the ones that are wrapping around the families and doing the work. And I want to make sure that I call them out very specifically. And then our superheroes that joined us today, they pale in comparison to the superheroes that are each and every one of you as parents. And so just wanted to thank everyone here, everyone that makes this event possible. Judge McNally.
Thank you, Maria. I have one special extra, which is Samara got one more parent on her speakerphone and she's going to speak up and then I'm going to close us out. So Samara.
Thank you. Go ahead, Julia.
Hi, everybody. I hope everyone can hear me well. I first want to say thank you for everyone putting this together. And I would also like to say that in no way, shape, or form is my story and my family's story a way to diminish anybody else's journey. But I feel like it would be negligent of me not to share our family's story in entirety, especially when Director Frost is on the phone. I'd like to read you something I wrote to give you a glimpse of our story. When I think back on what happened, I can still feel the chains that they were placed around our family's neck in August 2020 by the department. The pit in my stomach, the fear, the unknowing of what was happening. I can still hear my children's cries and feel the tugs on me not to let me go. In the weeks following removal, I could replay these moments. I remember the trauma so vividly. A nightmare that no matter how hard I tried, I could not wake up from. With every moment that passed, the chains tightened around our necks. You tell your children you will always be there to protect them. Then just like that, you are no longer legally allowed to be. The chains tightened. Court dates, drug testing, parent aids, DCS, and guardian ad litem. Sorry, guys. The heartbreak when the kids didn't show up to visits because case aides weren't available to give them to you. Judges who could not remember their own rulings. The ADAs that were more interested in being right than reuniting families. The chains tightened. June 8th, 2021, I sat on a hospital bed being prepped for surgery. It was an extremely considerable risk C-section with being my 5th C-section. And I also have placenta previa. While on the phone in court through Zoom. At this time, I had not seen my children in 3 weeks due to there being no DCS case aides available to conduct our visit. I was scared I would not make it off that operation table, being that it was my 5th C-section with medical complications, or worse, that my baby would not make it. The chains tightened. 1 year ago today, I sat in my hospital room while my baby was in the NICU because he was 34 weeks, which was planned by my doctor. It was that day when DCS walked in with allegations that my caseworker had put on our family for drugs, even though DCS had been drug testing my family 3 times a week for almost a year at that point, with all signs negative, and my baby was born with nothing in his system. And about the following week from that date, June 22nd, 2021, I had to walk with Grace out of the NICU after kissing my son goodbye and shake the hands of the foster parents DCS arranged for me behind my back. In that moment, more than any moment before with DCS, I knew that I didn't care how tight those chains got on my neck. As long as I had breath in my body, and no matter how weak that breath was, I would not stop advocating. I would no longer allow for misrepresentation of facts to determine my family's fate. And if a battle is what they wanted, then that is what I would bring them through a mother's love and my fierce attorney and my unforgiving social worker. My family will always bear the scars from the fire the department and the court system had us walk through. But my children are the strongest people I know, and the love my family has for each other soothes these scars every day. It is my hope that today each and every one of you will see these families, as I know you already do, but as your family, and that all the families that have reunited will join the fight to help other families. The fight my attorney put in for us was undescribable. I am very grateful for her today. Today, the chains that we had are broken. We took our broken pieces of those chains and we made a beautiful life. We have put back together a path that is so beautiful and bright in a way only we could. We are all together, happy, healthy, healing, celebrating milestones. Our love rose above. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Juliana, and thank you, Samara.
This is Keith. Can I chime in for 1 second?
Sure, Keith, go ahead.
I just wanted to share that I feel her story, and I didn't really expect to have the kids home, so it's kind of hard for me to like prepare a speech. But I dealt with a very difficult DCS case manager, and if it wasn't for the wonderful help of the Family Involvement Center and all that they do, and I had a reunification team placed, and if it wasn't for that, like, I don't know if I would have made it. Like, DCS was not very nice to me, but we're all here together now, and I had to battle just like the last wonderful woman who spoke. I battled tooth and nail for these kids. They didn't want to give them back, and it was a very difficult, long road. But due to the DCS, due to the Family Involvement Center's help, and I got my wonderful attorney, they made things happen for me. And I think that that's the most important message today, is that with team effort, people can go a long way. And I think that's very important, because us parents dealing with an addiction, dealing with DCS, dealing with drug testing and classes and jobs, we need that support. And if anything is heard today, I think that's a very important message, because it's just that hard, I guess that's kind of my message. I just think it's really important. All the work that all of you people do to help us is definitely felt throughout our community.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you so much. I just put a note in the chat that I think it's really important that we hear all of the messages, and I think it's a great. I don't know how to say it. It's really great that we have Director Faust, and we have a court system that judges Kramer and Bustamante and all the judges are really interested in what you have to say, and you've repeated it over and over how much it meant to have people who believed in you and gave you a chance and gave you another chance when you needed another chance. So I want to thank you all for sharing all of it, sharing the good parts and the hard to hear parts too. It's really, really appreciated. Maria, I want to thank you for being an amazing host. You always are. You're always so good at picking up on the messages and sharing them and sharing your vision for what our families need, because it is the vision we do need to achieve. And Lindsay and Victoria did an outstanding job in putting this all together. I want to also make sure to have a special shout out to Governor Ducey's communication director, Kristen Sorensen, and her team, Kim Brooks and Olivia Christiani. They did all this tech work to help make this presentation possible. When we were getting scared this week, it wasn't going to happen. And also transforming our event communication to the best ever. But most of all, as everybody's been saying, thank you to our 2022 Family Reunification Day honorees. We are all better because we have heard and learned from you all. So parents, children, and those who are part of your support circle, you are the superheroes. Life is hard sometimes for all of us, but remember, you are strong, you are loved, and you are together. So congratulations, super families. We're gonna wave goodbye. If you want to change your view to the gallery so you can see everybody who's here to send you your love, we're gonna all wave goodbye to you right now. And I wish you the best.